HTK Gaming has a question. You guys support 76 in an honorable way, like the good and dislike the bad without bias, yet they've crossed many lines. What, in your opinion, will be the breaking point for you personally? Well, I've almost hit it.
Yeah, we're almost hitting it. And again, it's like, this coming from me, I understand what they were doing and why they were doing it. I understand I'm not mad at them for making 76. I'm not even mad at them for making a buggy 76. I'm mad at them for not understanding that they could have avoided most of the bugs by involving the community at the get-go. Involving the community in a limited beta, a limited access beta, not a limited time beta, but a limited access beta. So they get in all the top modders, they get in a big chunk of the heavily modding community. They say, here's the game so far, what do you guys think? And then they would have had, a forum open, and Gopher, I talked about Gopher, I talked about Caliente, could have walked in and said, hey, can we get in and fix this and this, because this is a huge issue, and if you launch with this is going to cause the audience to be really upset, and you would have had thousands of people in the forum saying, yeah, this is a really big issue, we need to fix this. And then they say, okay, we're going to put this on the list, and hey, you know what, we're going to pay you guys for helping us to fix the game. Honestly, that would have been just brilliant. Again, if they would have done that, they not only would have had a better game at launch, they would have had a game that was vastly improved in every measurable sense at launch, including the technical aspect of it, the optimization. All of these fixes are something that the community was able to roll out within days of the game being out and being, fairly negatively hit on. If they had done this ahead of the full release and had done this with the community, it would have been a really good game. It still would have had that issue with the no NPCs and the quests being weird. The breaking point for me is when they just continue to stop listening and to stop improving, and I don't think they're there yet. I think they've been doing a lot of tone-deaf things, and I don't know why they've been doing these things that are so tone-deaf. I understand that there must be a level at which they're thinking that, like, I don't get their thinking. I don't get their thinking as to why they're doing this. But I understand the reason why they wanted to make a multiplayer game, why they wanted to break off the way that Atlas was forming in the thing, why they wanted to do this multiplayer version, because it fixes a lot of problems. It really does. There's a lot of problems with the core engine that this whole experience has gotten them past and has helped them to fix. This is the best thing that could possibly happen for the franchise and for this engine going forward, is for them to make a 76 and get a lot of these issues resolved. What I disagree with strongly, and I cannot emphasize this enough, is the fact that they needed to, at the get-go, they needed to reorchestrate the way that the NPC and the quest system was working, because it wasn't done well at all. I understand that it was an artistic thing that they were going at, but I saw this coming a mile away, and I don't know why a bunch of other people couldn't have. That is their job to tell them so. The other thing is the cost. The cost was way too much. This thing should have been probably, I would say that the way that this was set up, and considering the competition that you have in Fortnite, in the competition that you have in upcoming games, they should have made this thing free to play. They could have still had the the special editions and the Power Armor edition and all that stuff. They could have done that 100%. 100%. People would have paid for that. But this should have been free to play, but it should have been in this limited access beta where they worked with the community to resolve a whole bunch of these issues. They should have done that right from the get-go, and they should have done that for probably a good 6 months. And they should have kept it really quiet, like not quiet, but tight, like really tight. Like, you only get in if you're a registered modder, and then you're able to invite like 4 people, and those people are not allowed to invite anybody else. If they had done that, you would have had this super restricted, super well-connected, super tight community that was focused on doing nothing but making the game better. And then that could have been, all those things could have been brought together, fixed, and then they could have released the game, put it out there, despite the fact that, you know, people would have been leaking screenshots and videos and sure, I'm sure somebody would have twitched it and all this kind of stuff, but it would have made it more like interesting. By that time, they would have been able to fix the majority of those issues, and that release, I'm telling you, that release would have been one of the biggest games of this year. But they didn't do any of that. Instead, they said, no, we just want the money. God, they just wanted the money. And again, they're not owned by stockholders. They're owned by themselves. Why they thought this was the best way to go about it, when going about it the other direction would have given them more and would have given them it would have just been so much better. Will it ever change? Yes, it's slowly working in that direction. Really slowly. Like, their last patch reintroduced a whole bunch of their original bugs because, why? Because they were building their patch off of an older system that was previously out. It's like, why would you do that? Like, good God, the people that are patching this thing, I don't know what's going on. It's like I don't know who's in charge there. Is like a turkey in charge there? By turkey, I mean like a legitimate turkey who's just sitting behind a computer pecking away at the keyboard. It's like, hey, we need to approve this thing. We got a WWDD00LP. Does that mean yes? I think so. It kind of spells help, I think. Maybe? No. Well, I guess maybe. Let's launch it. Let's launch it. It's like who's making these decisions? And again, if anybody worth their salt who's in the industry would have been able to sit down and say, hey, I understand what you guys are going for. It's a good thing. But we can ensure that this is going to be a product that people will talk about for years by doing this, this, and this. And they did 180 degrees in the other direction of every single one of those things. And again, this has been proven to work to make the games, to make all of their products more financially viable right now. It's shocking to me how many people want to create the new Fortnite. Any game developer would kill to be behind Fortnite right now. Any game developer would have killed to have that be their game of 2018 and 2019. Like, just 100%. Like, people would trade their souls to have that opportunity. And yet, you're like, well, you know, one of the things that they did is they didn't take themselves seriously, and B, they made it free to play. Well, okay, I don't want to do the free to play thing. Well, it's made the game what it is. It's made it the most financially lucrative game this year. Well, I just want to throw $20 on it as a surcharge. But you realize that by doing that, you're going to cut out like 90% of your audience. No, I think that they'll still keep coming back to it. Well, they won't. It's a math thing. It's a cultural math thing. I'm not telling you this because I'm disagreeing with you because I don't like what you're saying. I'm saying this because this is math. This is true. This is facts. You can't argue with this. Facts don't care about your feelings. Your feeling in this regard is 100% incorrect. Period. I'm not getting angry at you because you're stupid. I'm getting angry with you because you don't understand logic, which is, I guess, more or less that you're stupid. Why do you not understand? You can't charge $20 off the top and get the same reaction. You can't charge $80 off the top and get the same reaction. Oh, but I think we can. Who's telling you this? Some magical fairy that showed up in my dream last night. Because that's the only case in which this is true. You don't have these games hit this level of success and be buy to play. You just don't. Period. The only game that has that's ever had the closest number of people playing it, of like units sold versus, you know, active players who are constantly playing the game, etc., is like World of Warcraft. And people have been trying to emulate that for freaking decades. And the only people that have gotten close are people who do free to play. So do free to play. Period. And you have these idiots who sit behind their offices who are like, yeah, but I can't really pass it off to the board. Why? You can't tell them facts? Anyways, HD Gaming has a follow-up question. That is, we have Starfield coming down the line. 76 has shown how bad things can get. How do you think this experience has changed their moves for development of Starfield? They're working on fixing a lot of bugs on Starfield. This is really where this gets to, and this is really important. Starfield is, from everything that I'm hearing, is going to be more like Skyrim. Is going to be more like Fallout 4. It's going to have a really amazing story. This story is good. The story behind some of the stuff that's going on in 76, the way that it's presented to the players and to the community is trash. I 100% agree with you. The story writing itself is not that bad. Like, the story writing itself is actually really good. We are going to get good writing with Starfield. We are going to get decent writing with the next Elder Scrolls game. By next Elder Scrolls game, I don't mean Blades, I mean Elder Scrolls 6. We're going to get good writing with the next 2 games coming out of Bethesda. The writing isn't, they realize that they need to really focus up on that, and Starfield has been in the works for decades. So there's a chance that it might come out really convoluted, maybe, but overall, Starfield's going to have amazing story and amazing writing, with a small chance of it being convoluted and confusing. But overall, that game is going to be great story-wise. Gameplay-wise, it's going to be good. The added feature that goes beyond like the shooting and the running around and stuff, the building / stuff that they have in it, which we haven't seen, we've only heard rumors of, that may or may not be great. And you're 100% right. 76 was a test. They wanted to try and implement things and get things a little bit better, and they wanted to field test some of their assumptions on what they could do. And again, the fact that they put an $80 price tag with it was insulting and disgusting. But it needed to be done for them technically. It was just they got greedy. And they're still getting greedy because of what's going on with this microtransaction stuff. And I think they'll learn from that, because as far as we know, Starfield's not multiplayer. That's the one thing that they realized. That's the one thing that they've really realized. People aren't necessarily demanding an online feature for Skyrim and Fallout and Elder Scrolls and all that stuff. They're not lining up around the block to do it, and they've really damaged themselves recently by doing it this way. However, there is this moment of clarity that they had where people do like to play together. So I think that's the system that they're going to do. That's the system that the community has been creating with the various online multiplayer tools that they've been developing, and it works really, really well.
Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, sub, and hit that notification bell, and then check out some of these other videos. Find the link to our Discord server and other important stuff in the description below.